I've got to leave for a little while, so can you watch things for me until I get back? Thanks. Oh, and remember, don't let the pigeon drive the bus.
Oreo loves children.
I thought he'd never leave.
So that's what she's here
Can I drive
for the children.
I'm back. You didn't let the pigeon drive the bus, did you?
Parents contact me, or they can call me and they can bring their children home to my house to read to Oreo.
I'll be your best friend.
She's enrolled in Angel's Paws because she has Cushing's disease, and currently she has about 30% use of her kidneys. She's getting treatments.
So, I've been observing Oreo today, and she is definitely moving a little bit more gingerly. Oreo did great for a number of years, but Oreo has begun to fail. She has a lot of arthritis, and so of course we're in relationship with Sammy, so she's enrolled in our hospice program for support too, pain management and emotional support for our human pet parents. And where we're going to put this is on the hairless portion just inside of her ear, so that we don't have anything getting in the way of this medication.
I'm trying to give her some peace while she's going through what she's going through. And then I have Angel's Paws to support me when I make that decision.
That easy. And that is what pet hospice is all about. What's been missing in traditional veterinary medicine is the human component. Angel's Paws is there to be a community of people who do understand how those heartstrings are pulled when there's a loss of a beloved, no matter if it has fur or skin or feathers. It started with heartbreak. I had two cats, Cagney and Lacey, and they were my children. I didn't have human children, so they were my children. At 18, Cagney began to fail, and I wasn't prepared for what was going to come next. Went through the euthanasia process, the cremation process, and literally all of that just brought me to my knees. Pet loss is a very disenfranchised grief, I discovered, and there just was really nothing to help me. So fast forward 6 months later, my father was diagnosed with bladder cancer, and we went through human hospice with him, and it was utterly different. The family was treated as part of the patient. We were the patient too, and we got education and emotional support, which is exactly what was missing with my loss of Cagney. I had divine intervention. I had two words put in my heart, and that was animal hospice. That is where Angel's Paws came from. I took a job as a social worker in a hospice so I could really learn it, but I found something very interesting while I was doing this as a social worker. And I knew I could give emotional support to families who were going to be losing pets because I had been there and I had been a therapist for years and years. So I knew I could do that part of it. But what I saw in human hospice was that the nurse plays a very key role in human hospice. And in the homes, they are the eyes and ears for the doctor who doesn't go out to the home in human hospice. The nurses go out to the home. So I realized in order to do this justice, I had to go back to school and become a registered vet tech. Now, mind you, I'm 50 years old at this time. But I was so committed to bringing this concept to life that I would do whatever it took.
Down on that and compresses his heart. So given my experience with a cat sanctuary, a geriatric cat sanctuary, I have a really good sense of when it's time to start thinking about palliative care or hospice care, because I personally did that for a lot of years. And I could tell with Mary Jane it was getting time. She was getting very slow. She wasn't moving from her bed. She wasn't eating as much. And I called and made the arrangements with Angel's Paws. Sophie came and took care of Mary Jane, and It was down in this room, and it was just a very peaceful thing. And Mary Jane was a very independent, rough sort of cat, and it was really funny because Sophie got a kick out of when she gave the injection to help calm her down, to relax her and for pain. Mary Jane reached up, which she'd never done, and like put her paw against my chest and laid her head up on my shoulder. It's been really hard for me. I didn't think that it would hit me as hard as it did. So that's what I really value. I of course value what they do and the kindness and the compassion they have for the pets, but it's the kindness and the compassion that they have for the people involved as well that means so very much to me. Little paw prints, yeah, they're wonderful.
When I started, I was a 24/7 business. So all by myself, solo employee, 24/7. So I did hire another registered vet tech 1 year into the service, and then a handful here and there as we grew over those first 8 years. But at about year 8, I finally was telling my staff, you know, it took 8 years, but now we're an overnight sensation. And now to this day, we have served about 25,000 pets and their families in the 13 and a half years we've been.
When I met Tammy, she is such a kind and compassionate and caring human. And just spending time with her and John during the interview process, by the time I was done, I was like, I will follow this woman anywhere. It's really what it was like. She is just such an amazing person, and what she is offering to people is such a needed service. I've been on both ends, working at a clinic in general practice and as a client with my pet. And the service that Angel's Paws offers people is just so different, and it's so beautiful, and it helps people so much.
The people she has working for her, I don't know what the interview process is or the vetting process is, but they are the best people in the world. They are wonderful, and how in God's name they do it, I don't know.
Compassion fatigue is huge, and it exists, and it's real. So I don't think a day goes by that one of my team members does not hear, I don't know how you do this. This has to be the hardest job. And we all tell everyone, it is a heartbreaking job, and we cry all the time, but we also know what we're sparing this family by us doing the service.
We are there providing a medical procedure for their pet, but we're also providing them with a lot of support, and some people don't have that.
My husband and I are both mental health therapists. So Angel's Paws is very radically different again because we are led by therapists, and we keep that in mind as we do our work and as we serve our staff. So what do we do for our staff? A lot of things. First of all, we want to use every aspect of their license if they're a registered veterinary technician. So that's one of the things in the field that's very, humbling when you get out after all of that education and you learned all of those ologies, the hematology and the oncology, and you learn all your ologies, and then you get out and you're not necessarily used to your fullest capacity.
We feel very appreciated from the families and our boss. So it's really, I know it sounds like really sad, and it is really sad, but I've never felt so appreciated in any job I've ever had.
I made that call to Angel's Paws because I know that will give me peace of mind. And not only that, it will help me with Oreo, and Oreo will be in a better place thanks to Angel's Paws. I don't want her to suffer. And Angel's Paws is not just about helping your pet, it's about helping the person and the family too.